The world of cricket has seen many great players. It has seen many great captains, but it has seen only one Dickie Bird. His name is known across the globe. He was an umpire, but he was much more than that. He was an institution, a character, a man who brought a smile to the faces of millions. He stood for fairness and for the spirit of the game. For decades, his familiar figure in the white coat and wide-brimmed hat was a comforting sight on the cricket field. The news of his passing marks the end of an era, a moment to remember a truly unique figure who gave his entire life to the sport he loved so dearly. Harold Dennis Bird was born in Barnsley, a tough coal mining town in Yorkshire. His father was a miner, and life was not easy. Dickie, as he was soon known, grew up with the values of his community. Honesty, hard work, and a sense of humour were part of his DNA. From a young age, cricket was his escape and his passion. He spent countless hours playing and dreaming of a life in the game. It was a world away from the dark and dangerous coal pits that claimed the lives of so many men in his town. He was a proud Yorkshireman, a connection he would carry with him throughout his life, never forgetting where he came from. His dream was to play for his county. He wanted to wear the famous white rose of Yorkshire. He was a talented right-handed batsman, and he worked hard to make his dream a reality. In 1956, he made his debut for Yorkshire, a moment of immense pride. He later moved to Leicestershire, continuing to chase success as a professional cricketer. In his career, he played in 93 first-class matches and scored over 3,000 runs. He even scored 2 centuries, including a magnificent unbeaten 181 for his beloved Yorkshire. He had skill and he had determination, but his body would not let him go as far as he wished. A nagging knee injury began to cause him constant trouble. It was a cruel blow for a man who lived for the game. The pain made it difficult to bat for long periods and to move freely in the field. The injury eventually brought his playing days to a premature end. It was a heartbreaking moment. His dream of a long and successful career as a player was over. For many, this would have been the end of their story in cricket, but for Dickie Bird, it was simply the start of a new and even more famous chapter. He was not ready to leave the game behind. After his playing career ended, Dickie felt lost. Cricket was all he had ever known. He took on various jobs, including coaching, but nothing felt right. The pull of the professional game was too strong. It was then that he decided to try umpiring. At the age of 36, he stood in his first county match in 1970. It was a way to stay on the green grass he loved so much. He quickly found that his deep knowledge of the game, gained from his years as a player, gave him a great advantage. He understood the players, the pressures, and the nuances of every situation. His rise was swift. Just 3 years later, in 1973, he was chosen to umpire his first Test match. It was England versus New Zealand at Headingley, in his home county of Yorkshire. It was a special moment. He had returned to the highest level of the game, not as a player, but as a guardian of its laws. This was the beginning of an extraordinary umpiring career that would span more than 2 decades. He would go on to stand in a record 66 Test matches, a testament to his consistency, his skill, and the immense respect he commanded from everyone in the sport. Dickie Bird became a fixture at the biggest events in world cricket. He stood in 3 World Cup finals, including the very first one in 1975 at Lord's. This was a remarkable achievement. It showed the trust that the game's authorities placed in him. When the pressure was at its highest, everyone wanted Dickie in the middle. He brought a sense of calm and authority. Players knew they would get a fair decision from him. His presence was not just about making calls, it was about upholding the integrity of the contest. He became as famous as the star players he officiated. His final Test match between England and India in 1996 was an emotional occasion. As he walked out onto the field at Lord's, the players from both teams formed a guard of honour. The crowd rose to its feet, and Dickie, a man not known for showing his emotions in public, was moved to tears. It was a powerful tribute from the players he had shared the field with for so long. It showed the deep affection and respect he had earned. He had started as a player and ended as a legend of umpiring, having seen it all from the best seat in the house. What made Dickie Bird so special was not just his umpiring, but his character. He was known for his eccentricities and his wonderful sense of humour. He was a showman who never tried to steal the spotlight, but couldn't help but attract it. One of the most famous stories involved his hat. After the chaotic 1975 World Cup final, fans poured onto the pitch and someone snatched his trademark wide-brimmed hat. A year later, Dickie claimed he was on a London bus and saw the driver wearing it. It was a classic Dickie tale, full of wit and charm, that became part of cricket folklore. He was a man of simple tastes and strong values. He was deeply religious and never married, once saying, "I gave myself to cricket, and it has given me a real good life." His closest friend was the broadcaster Michael Parkinson, who also grew up in Barnsley. Their friendship was forged in their shared Yorkshire roots and a love for sport. They spoke often, and Dickie shared a final phone call with his old friend the night before Parkinson passed away in 2023. This friendship was a cornerstone of his life, a connection to home that he treasured deeply. On the field, he was respected for his absolute integrity. He was famously cautious about giving batsmen out LBW. He would only raise his finger if he was 100% certain. Players knew that if Dickie gave you out, you were out. There was no point arguing. He treated every player the same, from the newest debutant to the greatest superstar. He saw them as professionals doing a job just like him. His guiding principle was clear. If I had the respect of the players, then marvellous. And he had it in abundance from every corner of the cricketing world. This combination of fairness, humour and humility made him universally loved. Sir Ian Botham once affectionately described him as barking mad, a sentiment shared by many who knew his quirky ways. He might hop from foot to foot to keep warm, or have a quiet word with a bowler to calm them down. These little moments made him human and relatable. He was not a remote, unapproachable official. He was Dickie, a man who saw cricket not just as a game of rules, but as a game of people. He understood that a kind word or a shared joke was just as important as a correct decision. Dickie Bird's enormous contribution to cricket was officially recognised many times. He was awarded an MBE in 1986 and later an OBE in 2012 for his services to the sport. These were moments of great pride for the boy from Barnsley, but perhaps the honour that meant the most to him came in 2014, when he was made president of Yorkshire County Cricket Club. He called it the greatest cricket club in the world. For the lad who once dreamed only of playing for them, to become their president was the ultimate tribute. It was a sign that he had truly come home. His hometown of Barnsley never forgot him. A bronze statue was erected in his honour, showing him with his famous crooked finger raised, as if giving a batsman out. It stands as a permanent reminder of the local hero who became a global icon. It is a source of immense local pride, a symbol of what someone from a humble background can achieve through dedication. The fact that the statue's plinth had to be raised to stop people from hanging things on his finger shows the public's playful affection for him. He was not just a statue, he was a part of the town's fabric. His legacy is one of honesty, fairness and a deep love for cricket. He set a standard for umpiring that many still strive to reach. He showed that you could be an authority figure without losing your humanity. He reminded us that cricket is a game to be enjoyed, a game of character as much as skill. He gave his whole life to the sport, and in return, cricket gave him a life beyond his wildest dreams. He was a true original, and the game is so much richer for having had him at its heart for so long. Dickie Bird was more than an umpire. He was a storyteller, a comedian and a gentleman. He was the soul of cricket, a constant presence through changing times. He represented the best of the game, its traditions, its sense of fair play, and its ability to produce characters who capture the public's imagination. As we remember him, we remember not just the records he set or the matches he officiated. We remember the man who made us laugh, the man who earned our respect, and the man who showed us how to love the game of cricket. His innings may be over, but his spirit will remain.